Hey guys, so early in the morning, um, I think is it getting light? Might be starting to get light, I don't know. But I've been up for quite a while, since about like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. It's now around about 6, I think. Yeah, it's around about 6:30. Um, yeah, do excuse any random colours that start flashing. It's my screensaver on my computer. Um, because I'm sat at my desk, um, which I seem to be doing a lot lately, late at night, because I've not been sleeping very well. Um, so, like, I've been going to bed earlier than normal, so I've been getting tired earlier, and then because of that, and because of like mental health and everything as well, I've been not being able to sleep at all, or I managed to get a little sleep for like an hour or two, and then I just wake up again and I can't get back to sleep. So most of the time, I'm just up late at night, all night, just with nothing to do, bored, sat at my desk and at my computer, and I just end up watching random videos on social media, or playing video games. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft Skyblocks lately. Um, so yeah, but I think as well where I don't have my wheelchair and I've been trying to get out and about anyway, despite that, because I'm trying to keep going, if that makes sense. And because I've not had my wheelchair, I've been finding it harder to keep going. Um, so, yeah, and I'm stubborn and I don't like feeling like I'm being lazy. So I have to be getting up, doing things. I have to get out and about. I don't like sitting around at home all the time. I have to go out and do something. Um, but yeah, it's because with me, if I come to a complete standstill, it's hard, like really difficult to get going again. So I've got to, I don't know if I'm making sense. I've got to keep moving, because if I come to a standstill, I am worried that I won't be able to start moving again, if that makes sense. Um, because what's that saying? That old saying, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So yeah, I've been trying to keep some normality and keep moving despite not having my wheelchair and struggling with mobility and struggling with physical health at the moment, and also struggling with motivation due to mental health. Um, so yeah, because like I always say, mental health and physical health are very much connected. So if you feel crappy physically, you're gonna feel crappy mentally as well, and vice versa. So yeah, and I'm kind of feeling crappy physically and mentally at the moment. And I'm trying to get out of that mindset, but it's a bit tricky. Um, because there's a lot I haven't talked about mental health wise. And I know that's probably bad because, like, I always kind of preach that being open and honest about mental health, to end the stigma and stuff, and having an open and honest conversation and normalising talking about mental health. That I always preach that kind of stuff, which I do believe that. I strongly do believe that. Growing up, having experience of mental health, my mum, she struggled with mental health, but she wasn't diagnosed. She didn't get help for it because of stigma, because she was worried about what people were going to think of her. She was worried about what her family would think, what they would say. She didn't want to look weak, So I've seen what stigma can do. And yeah, I'm trying to break that cycle. But at the same time, I'm struggling to understand my own mental health at the moment. So it's really tricky to talk about something that you don't fully understand, So I'm trying to figure out my own mental health at the moment. Yeah. And physical health wise, my physical health is very much triggering my mental health. I know that much. I've been having more heart issues. I don't know if I mentioned it in one of my last videos. I may have. I can't really remember. My brain's so foggy lately, but yeah, I've been having a lot of heart issues. A couple of weeks ago, I think, was it last month? I don't know, but I had a heart issue. I was on my way to a poetry thing with John. I think I did talk about it in a video, but yeah, I was on the way to poetry thing with John, and on the way there, I had an episode with my heart. I came over all dizzy, extremely nauseous. I passed out. My heart felt like it stopped. Literally felt like it had just stopped. And I had to hit myself in the chest. And my heart just started. It felt like my heart started beating again, but very slowly. And then it got really fast and really erratic. So yeah, it was not good. It was really scary. It could have been just an anxiety attack mixed with high blood pressure and me overdoing it. I don't know, but either way, it was really scary. But then last night, yesterday, I went to the poetry thing again, write a note. I mean, they have it it's every month, once a month, they do this poetry thing, and it's really cool. I actually videoed it this time as well, so I only did one poem, but it'll be up on my YouTube at some point today, hopefully, because I'm going to be editing that in a minute and posting that. So hopefully at some point today. Probably later on this evening, to be honest, because I have a few things to do. But yeah, excuse the weird high-pitched whistling sort of noise you can hear. That's a car alarm outside. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, so I went to write a note yesterday Now, I was worried at first on the way there because I was worried that I'd have another heart issue again. I'd have another episode with it again. But I was like, no, you probably won't. You've been relaxing the past couple of days. Your blood pressure is good at the moment. Your heart rate seems fine. I was just kind of pep talking myself through it. But got there and was fine. No issue at all. And got up, did my poem, watched everyone else do all their poems, and there were really amazing poets there. And then John did his poem. I filmed John as well, so you'll probably see that video on his YouTube if you're subscribed to his YouTube or whatever. If you're not, go check it out. Even if poetry's not your cup of tea, go check John's out, because he does do some really funny stuff sometimes. He also does a lot of political stuff and stuff about mental health and everything as well. So even if poetry's not your cup of tea, go check it out anyway if you've got 5 minutes to kill. But yeah, it was all fine. Then we left the Mars Studios where Write a Note is held. And called a taxi. I was completely fine. Got in the taxi, still completely fine. Taxi started pulling off, and as we were leaving the town centre in the taxi, I started to feel really strange. And I felt like really nauseous, and my heart started like doing all the weird palpitations and like being erratic again and fast, and I felt lightheaded and a bit dizzy and stuff. Got back home, got out of the taxi, and I said to John, look, I feel really ill. I don't feel right at all. It's the heart issues again. And he's like, right, well, let's get indoors. And basically, I think, I got in, got pyjamas on, took my meds, because I think that was the issue, to be honest. Because I hadn't taken my meds. Usually, because I have a set routine with my meds and I take them at certain times during the day. I take some of my heart meds at 8 o'clock in the evening, 9 o'clock in the evening. And usually, if I'm out during that time, I will take my little tin, my pill tin, and with my heart medication in it, and I will take it while I'm out. But I completely forgot to take that yesterday. So I went up on stage to perform poetry, which usually causes a lot of anxiety for me. I don't know where that tin is gone, but it's a little, like, someone said it looks like a snuff tin, but it's like a little tiny round tin. So got up on stage, read my poem, which I always, for some reason, I always get very anxious when I get up to perform. Like, I've done it so much that I would have thought the anxiety would have worn off by now and I'd be fine, but no. That's not how it works. Anxiety has to always be there, causing a problem. I did that without any heart meds, so that's probably what triggered the heart issue last night. I'm totally fine now, barring being a little bit tired because I haven't slept much. But yeah, I'm totally fine now. It was just like a little blip, I guess. So yeah, I've got to be careful in future, I guess, and make sure I take my meds when I need to take them, and make sure I don't forget them. Maybe I should keep a little tin in my bag with my meds in. Just keep it in there, so that if I do forget them, I've got some spares in my bag already, if that makes sense. So that's probably what I'm going to start doing. So yeah, but I really enjoyed last night. It was fun. There was a whole theme about cats. I don't think that was the intention. It just ended up most people were reading poems about cats. So yeah, I had to join in with that, and I did a poem about one of my cats, Sir Fluffy Bottom. Sir Fluffy Bottom was Squeak's dad. I know most of my followers on YouTube and Facebook and stuff and Instagram already know about Squeak. Some of my really old followers might know about Fluffy because I think he does feature in some of my really, really old videos from years ago. But yeah, Fluffy was Squeak's dad. Yeah, and he was a lot like Squeak. Squeak inherited her good nature from him, and her intelligence as well. So yeah, I mean, this morning I woke up to a very strange sight. Now, last night when we got back, because I had done a little bit shopping whilst I was out and about in town, because I try and get everything done all in one go, rather than making multiple trips into town in 1 week. I just think, right, I need to do this, this and this and this and this in town, so we will go on this day and we will do it all in one go, because then it's only one bus fare, and yeah, and less running about in the week for me. But yeah, so I got Squeak some new toys, and I gave them to her last night when we got in, and I was playing with them with her. And when I went to bed, all her toys, her new ones and old ones, were kind of just scattered about the floor in random order, like she'd just kicked them all over the place. This morning, when I woke up and I come in the living room, let's see if I can move this camera so you can see it. It's very dark in this room. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the floor there. Just there, next to my shoulder. That is our cat toys. And I came in and they're in an almost perfect circle. Let's see if I can shed a bit of light that way. I don't know, can you see there? But yeah, so I don't know how they got like that, whether that was Squeak that did that. Oh, hang on. My makeshift tripod is gone wonky. 2 seconds. I probably should just use my actual tripod, but no, I have to be awkward. Right, hopefully the phone won't fall off that. But yeah, so come in the room, in the living room this early this morning, 3-4 o'clock, something like that. Yeah, and the toys are just on the floor. in a almost perfect circle. And I was just sort of like, okay, what has happened here? So I don't know whether Squeak did that, and I don't know for what purpose Squeak would have done that. I don't know. Whether it's some sort of ritualistic, religious thing that cats have. I don't know. Are cats religious? Do they perform rituals? Maybe they do in secret. Oh, and there we go. Squeak's appeared behind me on the sofa. Hello, Squeak. What are you doing? Okay. She's decided she's going to lay on the sofa. But yeah, so I don't know. But it could have been John that put them like that, I suppose. Because he did go to bed after me, so he might have done it he might have been playing with her and done it just to be, I don't know, John. John does weird things sometimes. We don't know why. Well, we do know why. He's on the spectrum. No, it's not weird. Well, it's weird. It's quirky. He's quirky. We're all quirky. But yeah, so it was a bit like, yeah. I was thinking, I didn't even drink alcohol last night. What the hell? You know? No, I stayed sober last night. Usually when I go out to events and stuff, I do have 1 or 2 or 3, maybe 4, sometimes 5. No, but yeah, I stayed sober last night because I've got a few events coming up in the next week or 2 which are going to involve drinking. So, like, I'm going to save it for then. Otherwise, yeah. So I've got John's birthday coming up, and we're going to be having a little bit of a party here for him with some friends, and I think he wants to play some, like, card games or something like that. Yeah, and then I have a few other events to go to, so... And yesterday, when I was out, John bought me a gift. So, this is alcohol, Disaronno, and it's got the little bottle of Disaronno and a little drinking glass and some Disaronno chocolate truffle things. So, yeah. I'm not gonna drink that today. I'm tempted to. It's sort of been sat on my desk, sort of beckoning me to open it and drink it, but I'm not going to. I'm probably gonna go hide it in the cupboard later, so that I don't drink it. I'm gonna save it for later, because yeah, like I said, I've got a few events coming up where it's going to involve drinking, so yeah. And I'm trying to curb my drinking because it's been a bit out of control lately. Been going a bit mad on it, and literally I was just out on Halloween and with my friend Carl and John. We went out to one of our favourite pubs and yeah, for Halloween, and had a few drinks. So yeah, you've got to slow down on the drinking. That car alarm is so annoying. Oh, I think John's awake. You alright?
Yeah, if circular.
Yeah.
Not
Did you?
me.
Not you.
Not me.
Okay, so it was squeak. So, okay, the plot thickens. It was not John that created the cat toy circle on the floor. So it must have been Squeak. Either that, or it was a ghost.
Or you were sleepwalking in. Or I was sleepwalking.
You have to sleep to be able to sleepwalk. And to be honest, I've not done much sleeping. But yeah, so it must have been Squeak then. What, like, Squeak, I have questions for you. She just sat on the sofa with her paws crossed like that, looking at me like, yes. How can I help you? The circle of toys. Would you care to explain this? No? Okay. I'll make my own conclusions then. So, like, I'm a little worried to step inside the circle of cat toys, because it might be a portal. Who knows, with cats and their cat magic, you know? It could be a portal to another dimension. Could be a portal to hell.
Could be a social experiment. The cat might be going, I wonder if they'll step in the circle.
Yeah, it could be.
You know, like on YouTube when people put like that
black
tape and the cat sits in it?
Yeah.
Could be a human trap.
Yeah,
it could
be.
It could also be, right, another thing. Here's a fun thing. Should I just wake up?
Did I wake you?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
But it's not, like, let's put it this way, you know when you get to that point when you're like half asleep, I know you can't see my face, I look like a mess, but you know when you're at that point where you're half asleep,
yeah,
and your dreams become reality, and reality becomes your dream.
Yeah.
It was that, and I was just getting snippets of conversation just echoing through the emptiness of my sleep. So I just thought, I'm going to get up. The main reason, well, two things that made me get up was you said something about a weird setup, which was obviously
the cat toy circle to hell. Yeah.
But something for your for the fans. Today is the 7th of November.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is there something important about 7th of November?
Two things. One is Michael's birthday.
Oh, yeah. Which means it's our anniversary as well. Is that what this gift was about?
Yes.
Okay. I'm definitely the man of this relationship. I forgot our anniversary. That's crazy. So
no,
yeah.
You didn't forget. It's just you've been preoccupied by other things because my birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is our 17th anniversary.
Wow, 17 years.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We still haven't killed each other.
It's probably why I drink too much. No, you're fine.
Definitely the man of the relationship. Definitely the man.
But yeah, so my nephew Mikey, he was born today, so it's Mikey's birthday today. And whilst he was being born, John, was it me that asked you out, or you that asked me out?
No, it was your brother
That's
asked me out on your behalf.
Yeah.
Because apparently you wouldn't shut up about me and he was sick of hearing about it.
Yeah.
So it was just
he stole my phone. My brother was quite young at the time. And I used to live on the Isle of Wight. And I was living on the Isle of Wight at the time. And my brother used to come over in the holidays to stay with me when he was like a young teenager. And And yeah, like, I was telling my brother about this guy I'd met, you know, about John, and saying he's really cool. And my brother got sick of hearing about John and was like, "Do you fancy him?" I was like, "What? Don't be silly." He was like, "You do, you fancy him." So my brother then stole my phone, found John's number in my phone, and I think he rang John.
Yeah. I got a phone
Can't remember.
call. I got a phone call at about 10 o'clock, if I remember rightly.
What, 10 o'clock in the morning or at night?
Yeah, morning.
Yeah, sounds about right. But yeah, I think my brother asked John out for me, and John didn't know who it was calling, and he was like, "Sorry, who is this?" And my brother was like, "Suki's brother," and John was like, "Suki."
Well, actually, he said Susie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. You don't like that name.
Susie. I don't.
But he, basically, the way the conversation went was, my phone rings, I pick it up. Yeah, I'm just
Cannot
trying to,
see you.
I'm trying to clear a space.
Sit on the
open.
sofa there where the washing basket is. Be careful with that, it's got my camera in it.
Yes, I know, that's why I was being careful, and there's loads of soft stuff there. Right.
We can see you! Oh my god.
Oh, God, look at me. Look like I've just been dragged through a hedge backwards. But, give me a minute. Right, basically, can't word for word, so I'm paraphrasing, but I got a phone call, I pick up the phone, and I, "Is this John?" I was like, "Yeah." And then his voice is a bit young, I don't know people this young. He goes, "Do you know my sister?" I said, "Oh, maybe I do. I don't know." He goes, "Will you go out with her?" "Or who's your sister?" And she was like, "Oh, it's..." And he said her full name. And I was like, if she wants to go out with me, she can ask me herself. Anyway, conversation ensued. He's like, "No, but would you go out with her? Would you go out with her?" He's trying to make me a gentleman about it. But I was like, well, I've been trapped like that before. I've had people go, "Oh, you go out with this person," and I'd be mocked for saying, "Yeah, I'll go out with them if they're interested," you know. But it was just like, I wanted to say yes, but I didn't want to be like, "Oh, he's being set up," you know. So
You're worried it was
he's
all a
talking
trick.
to me. He's giving me all the dad questions, like, you know, what are your intentions? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? You know, doing his research. Good kid. And eventually the phone gets passed to Suki. She's like, "Who's this?" And all I hear is, "Fucking speak to him." I was like, "Hello?" And they're like, "Did you ring me?" I was like, "No." And, "You little shit, you rang him." And she was like, "Well..."
And then the most awkward conversation
ensued.
ever ensued. Yeah. But
I
yeah,
like
so...
the aftershock. It was when I met your sister Jo.
Oh yeah.
She goes, "Oh, so you're the one." I was like, "Uh-oh, what have I done now? I've upset half the
I'm
family."
sorry. I feel like I
Right?
have to apologise for my sister all the time. I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But she was like, "I was in labour." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Good for you. I voted for them." You know, I hadn't then, but I was like, good for you.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I was having a baby and you two were getting together. And I was like, it's a miracle.
But so yeah, we have my little brother to thank for us being together.
He wasn't the one that introduced us though, but...
No, he didn't introduce us. I met you through a mutual acquaintance.
He used to be a friend.
He who shall not be named.
No, not Voldemort.
We're not going to talk about him because he's not a very nice person. So we're just going to ignore that. But I met John through this person. And then we sort of hung out a little bit. And then we met up a few times in like town and stuff and hung out as friends. But yeah, it was actually my little brother, Terry, who gave us a nudge. And that's the reason why me and John got together.
And I don't want to speak on other people's behalf, but I think now looking back on it, I think
Terry regrets ringing you.
yeah. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made, yeah.
No, I think the only reason that is because, like, he thought, oh, I'm getting my sister a boyfriend, so she'll go about him. And then it's like 17 years later, he's still here.
No, but like, so yeah, thank you, Terry. But yeah, my nephew was born on the same day. So literally, I was sat on the phone to John after my brother had rung him. And whilst I was on the phone to John,
So cute.
my sister and some other people in my family were trying to get hold of me, were like texting me and trying to ring me to let me know that my sister was in hospital having the baby. So yeah.
Great start.
So yeah, wow, that means Mikey will be roughly around 17.
He's 17, yes. Next year
Jeez.
he's 18.
I remember changing his nappies. Wow, I feel old now. Wow. But yeah, so wow, this video's had a bit of a transition on it.
Well, we can cut and edit, make two of it.
No, it's fine. I don't do all that cutting and editing when I do the random vlogs like this because
Yeah, but I mean, if it was too long for one video, you could just snip it in the middle.
no, because what I'm saying about it's been a weird transition is because I started this video talking about like mental health and physical health struggles, and now it's turned into us like, by the way, it's our anniversary.
Yeah, well,
And yeah, and how we got together and stuff.
well, if you want to talk about mental health and stuff with it, one of the great things is like, after 17 years and being here for 16 years in this flat, going through being homeless and all the other things, the hospital, your heart failure, your heart surgery, all of the other things, a lot of other people, they might not have made it. Because when it comes to relationships, loads of people forget, right? Because of how social media is, and I'm not blaming Facebook for this or anything, but because how social media is and how people have evolved.
Yeah.
Right? I was raised on the principle that a relationship is a team. You put their needs first, and they should technically put your needs first. Because if both people in a relationship are working to help the other person, that relationship moves forward.
Yeah.
Right? But modern day, because of all the language around abuse and toxicity and love bombing and red flags and beige flags and,
it's got so stupid nowadays, all that.
Everyone goes into a relationship going, this is my relationship, this is my relationship, my girlfriend, this partner, my partner, I, they love me, they do this for me, they do that for me. When really, right, the language is, we do this, we. And when you start, like something I saw a few years back, guy from Slipknot, Sean Cryan, I think that's how you say his name, but he did a seminar on the most evil word is the word I.
Okay.
Right? I made this band. I'm the lead.
Yeah.
I am So
So
you
very
start saying that
selfish. Yeah,
Yeah.
very selfish.
because
words, yeah.
then you expect gratitude for existing.
Yeah.
No one deserves gratitude for existing unless their existence has done something. And he goes, there's a phrase: true heroes don't want to be heroes.
Okay.
When you're in a relationship, if you're saying, I'm not getting the love I want, I'm not getting what I want, I'm not, okay, maybe it's a bad relationship. Maybe. Right? But I've seen it time and time again with couples. Well, one person goes, oh, I've got a boyfriend. They need to worship me. They need to buy me stuff. They need to do this, do that, do that. And the partner has, they're expecting to be pampered because they've been taught,
Seagulls.
yeah, I was distracted by that. I thought it was an alien invasion for a second. Right? Death rays. Pew, pew, pew. But, relationships. I was raised on the principle that in a relationship you look after each other.
Yeah.
Modern day people are taught in a relationship you get looked after. And it's the language.
Yeah. I'm the same way. If you like, I've always been brought up to pay my own way, clean up after myself, and yeah, I've always had to do things on my own and figure stuff out on my own. Like growing up, because, like I said, my mum, I think I said it earlier about my mum having mental health. So she wasn't always present as a parent because of that. So me and my siblings, we had to figure things out for ourselves. Sometimes, you know. So I've learnt how to be independent through that and how to figure life out on my own. So
Yeah, you had to adapt
I
to
want
your
to say
situation.
I don't need that whole thing. I don't need a man to do stuff for me.
Well,
But no, like
here's the thing though.
I can't. Bleh.
Here's the thing though.
Yeah,
like
I can't
in
even
this,
speak now. But yeah,
sorry,
it's
sorry.
not your fault.
No,
I'm having a
this,
funny
the
5
situation
minutes.
is a lot of people say that you don't need a man because they assume the man's going to take over and do everything, and because the woman
Oh,
because the female in the relationship, as it would be in a secularized way, that's an outdated statement. Needing a man, right? Because women didn't have rights. Women weren't even allowed to have pockets at one point, right? So they had to take back the power, which is fine by me, mate. They bring life into the world. We just sit there scratching our ass, belching at football. So, sorry if that offends anybody, but that's my personal take on that situation. But I don't watch football. I do scratch my ass and I do belch. But
try not to swear too much, please.
Was I swearing?
Yes.
I do apologise.
You said the word arse twice.
Oh, well, at least it's not the C-bomb or the F-bomb.
It's fine. It's just I usually don't mind so much. I try not to do too much swearing
I know.
in videos because YouTube and everything sometimes gets a bit
algorithm's
funny
little
about
bit
it.
iffy, yeah.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, so I was actually intentionally not trying to swear, but
Yeah.
I don't think
I know you can't help it. Like John
my
expresses him.
backside.
John expresses himself through swearing.
I express myself through honest speech.
Yeah.
I say what I mean and I mean what I say. If I'm going to
Yeah.
call somebody something nasty, I'm not saying it as a joke, unless we're banter, in which case, I will say it with a sarcastic tone. But as I'm trying to mansplain, you learnt to adapt to your surroundings because somebody wasn't there to cuddle you, to hold your hand, to bubble wrap you, which in a way was really good, but in a way was really bad, depending on your opinion in the general society. But even if you didn't have disabilities, the way that I treat you doing things for you if you ask. Okay, I'm a bit lazy. Sometimes it takes me a couple of days or a couple of hours or a couple of months, depending on the task and if I'm motivated to do it, mental health issues and stuff. But if you're in a relationship and your partner says, "Could you fetch me a cup of tea?" and your response is, "I'm watching TikTok," get up, make the cup of tea. You can still watch TikTok whilst you're doing it.
Yeah.
If you scold yourself with the hot water,
It's your own
whoops,
goddamn fault, yeah.
right? But here's the thing. If you think of it this way, if you're going to be a selfish person in a relationship, think of it this way. If you're sat there and you go, "Oh, I want a cup of tea," right? And you ask your partner, and your partner says, "No, I'm watching TikTok." If your response to a question is something it will upset yourself, then you're doing it, in my opinion, you are doing it wrong.
Oh, I think Squeak
Hello,
has
Squeak.
something to say.
Oh, she wants to stop the video.
Do you have something to say? Do you?
So, if you have a support system, somebody there to help you, that improves your mental health.
Yeah.
But the issue is especially like mine and Suki's relationship, right? We're constantly on top of each other. We're always together. And to some people, they're like, "Oh no, he's controlling her." No,
No, you're not controlling.
right? I'm there. I'm in the background. I'll stay out the way of it. But it's squeaky toy. You're so cute, right? It's because we're together. Most of the things she wants to talk about, we've both been through. And if her mental health is down, my mental health is usually down.
Good girl.
Yeah. Good girl, Squeak. And if my mental health is up, hers is usually in the right place as well. So sometimes some things will get to Suki and she's like, "Well, I can handle it."
It depends.
And she does. And some things, not all the time, some things. And sometimes she feels she can't talk to me because I'll interrupt, I'll take over. I've got very neurotic behaviour because I want to be there. It is my job to look after her. But as a partner, it's my duty to look after her.
See, people have said as well, like the whole thing of, "Oh, John seems really controlling. He's always doing things for you."
Micromanage. I do.
Like, for instance, John always has hold of my bank card and he will go pay for things for me. If I say I want this, like I'll say to him in restaurants, "Oh, looking at the menu, oh, could I have this?" And then he'll go up and order for me, stuff like that. Now, he's not doing that to be controlling. He's doing that because he's my carer and I struggle to do that for myself. And sometimes people don't always understand that or realise that, because I am able to have a conversation with them and I seem completely normal to them because I'm able to mask to have that conversation with them and sit with them and hang out and socialise and stuff. They think, that I'm totally normal. But no, I do struggle with social anxiety, and part of that is interactions. Normal daily interactions, like interacting with a bus driver to let them know what stop you on. Interacting with a waitress or a waiter, waiting staff at a restaurant to let them know what you want to eat. All those little interactions throughout the day I struggle with because of my social anxiety. And when I struggle with social anxiety, I get what's called selective mutism. So I have I hate the term selective because that implies that you have a choice in it. I'm not selecting myself to do that. It just happens. I have no control over it, and I can't speak properly to whoever I'm trying to speak to. And then, of course, when I am in a better mindset and I am able to speak to people, I am able to do those little interactions, I then start to get anxiety because I think, oh, what if the mutism happens when I'm mid conversation with this person? That'd be really strange. And then that puts me off talking to that person because then it triggers the social anxiety again. So it's like a weird, like, loop that I get stuck in. So John helps me with those little interactions throughout the day. So he has hold of my bank card because we'll go round the shop, I'll pick what I want from the shop, and he'll go up and he'll pay for it for me. You know, like I said, in the restaurant, I'll tell John what I want from the menu, and he'll go order it for me and pay for it for me. So like, and he's been trying to sort of like encourage me to support and encourage me to do it myself.
Yeah,
and sometimes I've been successful.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out, like, kind of in my defence, when we first just got together, you were like, as we were in a cafe, and you said, I'd like a cup of tea. And I was like, well, the counter's over there. And she's like, yeah, but could you get it for me? I was like, what, you don't have? And I was like, do you not have any money? She goes, no, I'll pay for it. Could you order it for me? And I thought, okay, Quirky wants me to go up and order a cup of tea or something. So I went up and I did it. And then she came up to me and she jabs me in the side, and then she's got a bank card. I was like, well, the machine's there and you know your PIN. And she's like, could you put it in? And I was like, what? And then it's like, and this happened almost every single time in the shop. I just got to a point of me, instead of going, you fucking do it, I'm just like, so she'll be like, oh, could I have a croissant with butter, cup of tea, 2 chocolate bars, and a sandwich or something, you know, just a random order. And I'll be like,
well, there you go.
which chocolate bar? She'd be like, did I have a 12? I don't know. I'm just naming chocolate bars, you know. And I go up there and I have to remember this. And if I'm walking up there and I see a squirrel, yeah, I forget.
See, like.
So I go up there and I say it, and they go, it'll be this much, and boop, and then I'll go back to the table and it's done. And what that does is that cuts her. That stops. It's going to sound bad, me saying. She then doesn't have to interact with a complete stranger, and halfway through the order go, can I have that?
It's that.
Jack,
it's a selective mutism, or I end up stuttering and cluttering.
Yeah.
And then the poor person that I'm trying to order from or whatever cannot understand a word I'm saying. So yeah, but there you go. True stories about dating on the spectrum. So yeah, when I met John and we first started dating, I tried to be as open and honest as possible about my disabilities, because I think that's important. If you're a disabled person and you're getting into a relationship, you know, you have to let the other person know what they are in for, especially if your disability is degenerative like mine. So when me and John first met, I was more mobile. I didn't really have any major mobility issues. I was an avid hiker. I used to go hiking a lot. Like I said, I lived on the Isle of Wight, so I used to go for random hikes and rambles along the coastal paths and stuff like that. Spent the whole day just walking along coastal paths. But now, 17 years on, yeah, my mobility is in the toilet. I can't go hiking anymore. Yeah, so you have to let the other person know what they're in for if you have a disability, if you have disabilities. So I tried to be, excuse me, I tried to be as open and honest as possible about my disabilities, mostly about my physical disabilities, because at the time my mental disabilities, the autism and stuff, was not diagnosed, and I did not understand that part of myself. That's something that came later, and I fully understand that now. And my mental health also was not diagnosed. And at the point I met John, I was going through some really difficult mental health issues. Why are you laughing at that? It's not funny.
No, in a way it is, right? It's like, this is what I just heard, right? You said the time I met John, I was going through some very bad, difficult mental health times. I'm trying to say it word for word. But my brain went, which is probably why I dated him, and now I'm stuck, help me.
No.
And I just thought, it's not
no,
funny.
You actually made it better. You actually gave me something else to focus on other than what I was focusing on, which the stuff I was focusing on at that time was very unhealthy, and if I'd carried on that way I wouldn't be here today. So
the way I'm flattered you say that. The way that the thing is the way that I view like the whole world, and this is my last bit, I'll shut up and
the shark keeps trying to choke me to death, sorry.
The way that I view the world is that humans as a species are the most destructive creatures on this planet, but humans as individuals are the most loving, caring individuals. Because, and this is my personal experience, it might not be the same for everybody else. And that's the thing. Where some people, at the moment, not to get into all the socio-political, there is stuff going on right now in the world that where we are, could never imagine what's happening. In a million nightmares, we could not fathom it. And for them, that's daily life. And there's people out there who we might see as successful, and they feel hopeless. And then there's people you might see as hopeless who feel successful. And people say it's all about your perspective on life and about it. I could quite happily be sat at home on my own playing video games until I fall asleep in my chair and never wake up. That I could be 100% recluse.
Mm-hmm.
So withdrawn that I could probably write a whole bunch of novels and never get them published. I can't even finish one. Not like I'm trying, but... And then there's people that just get up and do. And they're in everybody. Everybody goes, oh, everybody knows this guy, this person, because they're always at the party, they're on the front scene, they're always on the front page, they're always doing this, that and the other. And that's fine. But humans have been proven to be social creatures. We need, fundamentally, to talk to each other.
Do we?
This is why...
I can go months without seeing another human or speaking to another human and be fine. But then there are other days actually where I'm like, oh, I'm so bored, oh, I'm so lonely, I have to go speak to a human or I'm going to die.
Yeah,
I suppose it depends where my mental health is and
when you started your YouTube,
what personality is dominant at the time.
Right.
So,
because I'm going to say this is the last bit. So you don't have to give a feature-length answer to this, but when you started your YouTube, just think. You don't even have to give an answer if you don't want to. When you started your YouTube, ask yourself why. Was it because you wanted to share your experiences, or you just thought, oh, I could get rich off this? And if that's so, why are you not monetized? Right? it's the case of every action as a human being, as an individual, is set to benefit our quality of life, our comforts.
Right, you said you don't have to give a feature-length answer to this. I'm autistic. It's always going to be a feature-length answer.
No, what I mean by that sounded so mean of me now that it's been played back. Well, I meant
it's fine. I'm
like,
joking.
you
I know
don't have
what
to
you
say,
mean.
back in 19 whatever year it was, I decided I wanted,
Right, well, why I started my YouTube, it wasn't anything to do with getting likes or monetization or anything like that. I couldn't give a crap about money. Being popular.
I'm like, but money makes the world go round.
I started my YouTube channel and doing the videos and all the stuff I do on social media and stuff to raise awareness. I started originally to raise awareness for Marfan syndrome, and I started to do some charity stuff to raise money for Marfan syndrome charities. So it's more about doing stuff to help other people, using my story to help other people. Not only like other disabled people, but people who are not disabled and who have never witnessed or had to witness disability in any way, if that makes sense. So they can learn about disability and life, what life is like for a disabled person, because there are a lot of stereotypes and a lot of stigma and a lot of untrue stuff. Like, I'm going to mention one of the disability social media advocates I watch regularly, Wheelchair Rapunzel. Now she's just had a baby, and she's had a lot of bad comments and stuff because people were like, oh my god, you're so selfish, you're disabled and you brought a child into this. You know, I'm not even going to repeat some of the stuff I've seen said on her pages and stuff. It's so nasty, and it comes from ignorance, and I believe that ignorance is the world's worst and biggest disability. At some point in our lives, everyone suffers from a little bit of ignorance. So that's the one thing we need to get rid of. We need to normalise normalise disability. We need, like, normalise disabled bodies, normalise disabled dating, you know, because also I've seen a lot of stuff on some of the disabled advocates when they've put pictures up of them and their other half. It's been like, oh wow, your boyfriend's able-bodied. He's so amazing for dating you.
I get that a lot.
Yeah, like you're some kind of hero because you're dating a disabled person.
Right.
You know, that's really disgusting.
Because I'm active on some social medias, and you get those randos that just add you because they like a picture and stuff. I've had people say to me, they've gone to me and they've like flirted with me, and as much as I'm flattered, I know that they don't mean it. And when I tell them I have a partner and I'm a caregiver and all that, they're like, oh my god, you must be awesome, you're so loyal and all this. I'm like, you don't know the first thing about me. I am loyal, but it's like they make all these assumptions presumed on the fact that I have a partner who's disabled. And it's like, don't get me wrong, they're not doing it from a hurtful place, and they're not doing it from an ignorant place in the sense of that they being, oh, it's disabled, but more of a ignorant perspective because they haven't had to deal with that.
Yeah, because
and somebody said to me, oh, you're a real angel. And I said, if you ask the people that know me,
Yeah,
right?
they'll say different. Yeah.
They'll say no. They'll say that he's a decent bloke.
Yeah.
At least I hope they will, because
But
I
it's-
look out for my friends, and I'm like,
Most
I'm no angel.
people, when
I'm just doing what I believe is right.
yeah, most able-bodied people though, when they're going out into the dating pool, a disabled person would not be their first choice.
Yeah.
You know, and that's sad, because there are a lot of disabled people or people with disabilities, depending on what terminology you'd like to use. I prefer disabled first, but you know, to each their own. But like, I've lost my train of thought.
You were saying about people with disabilities, not the first.
Yeah, there are some
point.
people out there with disabilities that are amazing people, such loyal, nice, kind people. Yeah, me. I'm amazing. Why would you not want to date me? I'm not that great. I'm annoying.
All
yeah,
good partners are though.
I'm really bad at chores and housework.
You do better than I do.
I don't fold clothes. I screw them up and shove them under the bed.
I roll them up and shove them in a box.
I don't wash dishes. I just leave dirty dishes piled up in the sink for John to do, because ew.
Yeah, she's saying ew. She's saying ooh about the dishes and me. No, I'm joking.
But yeah, I'm not house
I
proud.
want to leave away because it looks like I'm talking. But my point about the question about why did you start it, to break it down, you didn't do it for yourself. You did it to raise awareness. You didn't have much awareness growing up.
Depends. I did.
Was the information about your disability clear, concise, and available to you?
Yeah, because my mum made sure it was. My dad made sure.
Right.
Before he died. My nan.
Without those
because
people.
My dad and my nan both had Marfan syndrome as well. And they researched it all, and my nan made sure my dad was fully aware and fully knowledgeable about it. My dad was also going to uni. He took a year or two out because my mum got pregnant with my older sister, and then my dad took a year out or something to help with the new baby, and then my mum got pregnant with me, so he had to take another year, I guess. And then he had the same heart issues as me, so he had to go for surgery. So he had to take more time out. And then, of course, there were complications after surgery, and he passed away. And I was like a year old, something like that. But he was going to university to get a doctorate in genetics and I think biomechanics. So my dad was literally working to become a scientist so that he wanted to be a genetic scientist so he could work on new treatments and stuff for people with Marfan syndrome.
Right. But here's the thing, right? This is going to sound like a really hurtful way of saying it, and I'm not trying to be, but your situation, some people out there are first generation Marfs, and they didn't have a clue.
You mean the people that have the mutation rather than the inherited form,
Right? Those people had to find the information, and you're putting it out there.
Yeah.
What you are essentially doing with your YouTube channel, or trying to do, in my opinion, is to be a helping hand to those that don't have it. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right. You could just go, well, this is my problem, everyone else, and never have invented your channel. Right? This is what we need in the world. Right? We've got cancer research because cancer affects everybody. We've got research into rare genetic diseases and stuff and disabilities. We've got research into ASD. There are scientists and doctors and great minds working together to create solutions to things that,
like some of the stuff I've been reading, a lot of medical stuff,
they're just trying to
papers
fix
and
stuff.
There's some really cool stuff I've seen. I've been researching heart issues and like new treatments for
I am going
heart
to go
problems.
now, but my point is this. This is what my point. If we as individuals, right, this is going to sound like some hippy dippy fortune cookie. If we as individuals put our best self forward and help those without "I'm being nice," the world would be a little bit better. And I'm not saying that there's not enough people doing that, because they're unsung heroes. But what do we hear? What do we see? We see all the negative, the bad, the horrible. And yes, okay, tell us about the bad, the horrible. We hear about conflict. We hear about political debate. We hear about all sorts of stuff. Houses burning down. Children going missing. Terrible, horrible things. Terrible, horrible things. I would like to also hear wonderful things. I'd like
that's what I try and do.
The positive. And I know you do that on your YouTube.
With my YouTube channel.
The news, social media,
I know.
the whole world.
I get annoyed.
Spread the love.
I get annoyed because there's all this like inspiration porn type stuff on social media of disabled people. They show video clips, but it's just a short clip, usually of a disabled person making it across a finish line at a race or something, and you just get that short clip of them crossing the finish line and celebrating, and then there's all these captions saying, oh, they run this really long race, they did it, and all that sort of stuff, all the inspiration porn kind of stuff, which is great. It's brilliant that the person's managed to do that, but what they don't show is the months of hard work, training that it took for that disabled person to be ready to do that race. They didn't show the full team of physiotherapists, carers, nurses, and support workers following this disabled person along this race, helping them, holding them up. They didn't show any of the hardship. All they showed was this great little moment where, yay, he's crossed the finish line, he's celebrating, he's great, yay, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that disabled people shouldn't run races. Go ahead, do it, run the race. Why not?
But tell your story.
But tell the full story. Not just those little inspiration porn moments. We need to show the bad stuff as well, because what we're getting is, this is what creates the stereotypes and the stigma, because then they go, well, this disabled person managed to run this race, why can't you? You're just being lazy. Well, no, my disability is completely different to that person's disability. Yes, he could run the race, but he doesn't have heart issues like me. If I run that race, I'd probably have a heart attack and die. So I'm not being lazy. We need to show the full story. We need to show everything. We need to show the support that we're getting through these amazing things we're doing. Because I do a lot of stuff, really cool stuff, but I don't always do it alone. Most of the time behind the scenes you've got John. Most of the time you don't see him because he tries to let me do my own thing, but he's there all the time to support me and help me. Remembering back to the Marfan syndrome walk we did on the Isle of Wight.
That was a very bad day, but a very good day. We
John,
were not
John's
prepared.
support. John's not someone who likes to hike, right?
I used to walk everywhere.
Yeah,
right, as a thing.
Yeah, when you had to, but just going for a hike in the countryside.
Well,
for a full day is not John's kind of thing. But basically, I said to him, I want to do this. This was after, I think we did this after my heart surgery, didn't we?
My mental health was not at a good point then, and I was like,
yeah, we'll be able to do this. It'll be fine. And I said to John, you can join me? And he was a bit reluctant at first, but he was like, you know what, why not?
Because I thought it was a run.
No, I don't run. What are you talking about? But yeah, it was something like 33 kilometres.
And we had the idea that we
in
were
a
going to be able
roundabout
to do
way,
it in our own time, but no, we ended up
in a roundabout way. We did do the 33 kilometres, but not on the proper laid out track because we kind of got lost. And yeah.
Because the last guy going around picking up the signs, he overtook us and left us in the dust.
Yeah, because I was very slow, because literally I just had heart surgery a couple of months before. And yeah, it's probably not a great idea. But I did raise quite a nice little bit of money for my fans' trust, so that was cool. There we go, there's my certificate. It's our certificate. But yeah, I'm showing off now. But yeah, throughout that whole walk, I had John there supporting me.
And yelling which way are we going, and you're like, this way, and I'm
John,
like, I don't think it's this way.
If John wasn't there, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it on my own, you know? So, yeah, when we're doing these great things, when disabled people are videoed doing these great things, they usually have support behind them to do that. But that support is never shown. You know, and it kind of annoys me because those carers and support workers and stuff deserve a pat on the back too, because they've helped that disabled person achieve some sort of dream or something, you know, so they deserve a pat on the back too, you know. But no, they get ignored. So it annoys me when that happens. But yeah, this has been a very strange video. It started off, it's got really long, it's over an hour long now. Wow. It's gonna take a while to upload. It's alright, I've got good internet. But yeah, this video started off with me in the dark early this morning, talking about how the fact that I couldn't sleep and talking about mental health. And then John wakes up to remind me that, by the way, it's our anniversary. So yeah, I'm definitely the man of this relationship. Totally forgot that it was. That's probably a bit sexist, actually, isn't it? Because probably not all men forget their anniversaries. But yeah, yeah. So I started this video off feeling a bit crappy and down in the dumps mental health wise, and now I feel quite good mentally. Yeah. Strange. But yeah, so I guess this was an anniversary present then, this Disaronno thing. See, I was saying earlier that I'm probably not going to drink this today, that I'm going to save it for another day. But because it's our anniversary, I might have to crack this open in celebration.
And just so that you don't feel
any
bad,
excuse,
Suki,
any excuse to get drunk, really.
And just so you don't feel bad, Suki, I've taken that this Bailey's one.
Oh, you got the Bailey's one?
I did.
You bought yourself.
No. I did this on your behalf.
Yeah, but you.
Because I pointed it
out.
He
bought his own anniversary gift from me to him.
I pointed it out to get you the Disaronno one, and I thought, well, if she was going to get me a gift, she'd get me this one. So, because it was done on our joint account, technically you bought this and I bought that. Yeah. Okay. I'll take the credit, it's fine. It's fine, you want to give me the credit, I'll take it.
I'm the best partner ever. Yeah, there we go. I'm so good, I forget our anniversary. I didn't forget your birthday though,
No.
so I'm winning there.
That's the one that would upset me if you forgot my birthday.
But yeah, I've got your birthday presents. Well, I've got one. The other one I'm waiting to be delivered. But yeah. But that'll be a fun video on John's birthday. But yeah. Anyway, this video's over. Wow, it's like over an hour and 20 minutes long. Jesus. Right, well, I'm going to end this video here. Thanks for listening to me and John ramble on for over an hour. Basically, I just did this vlog video because I sat here bored, not able to sleep, and I thought I'd just, yeah. But poetry video hopefully should be up by this evening. I'm going to work on that today. It shouldn't take too long because it's only a very short video. But yeah, that should be up on YouTube today, this evening. John should be up in the next week or two. I think he's going to work on his. So yeah, when he drops his, I will share it to the Chronically Suki Facebook page. So if you're interested and you want to find the link, go there, you'll be able to find it there. If not, just look on the Chronically Suki YouTube under, what's it called, the channels. I've got his channel on there. What's your channel called?
I've recently rebranded. It's now Renegade Poetry.
Renegade Poetry, there you go. You should be able to find it. If not, I will post a link to his channel underneath this video in the comment section so that you can find it easier. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And I shall speak to you all later. Bye bye.